Lisa Blackwell stared out the viewport at Earth below, blue and peaceful against the blackness of space. She sighed, running her hand along the worn metal wall of the U.S. Horizons observation deck. This wasn't where she wanted to be. After 12 years of dedicated service and countless recommendations, she'd been assigned as caretaker to a floating museum. "Commander, the monthly systems check is complete," said a voice behind her. Lisa turned to see John Carter, a young technician who joined her skeleton crew 3 weeks ago. His enthusiasm for the old warship both irritated and amused her. "Anything unusual to report?" she asked, knowing the answer would be the same as always. John shook his head. "Everything's nominal. Well, almost everything." He hesitated, then continued. "I picked up some strange energy fluctuations in the lower decks, near the old weapons systems." Lisa frowned. "Those systems were deactivated decades ago. You probably just need to recalibrate your scanner." "I did, twice. The readings are faint, but definitely there." The U.S. Horizon had once been the pride of Earth's fleet, a massive battleship that fought bravely during the Centauri conflict 30 years ago. When newer, faster ships made it obsolete, rather than scrapping the old vessel, Earth Command converted it into a museum, orbiting peacefully around the moon. Lisa's assignment was simple: maintain the ship, guide occasional tours, and ensure nothing fell apart, a waste of her training and skills. "Come on," she said to John. "Let's check those readings ourselves." They made their way through empty corridors that once bustled with a crew of thousands. Their footsteps echoed against metal floors worn smooth by years of use. The ship felt hollow now, a shell of its former self. The weapons control room was dark when they entered. Lisa activated the lights, illuminating rows of silent consoles covered with protective sheeting. "There," John pointed to an old monitoring station. "That's where I picked up the readings." Lisa removed the dust cover and powered up the ancient system. The screen flickered to life, displaying a diagnostic report that shouldn't exist. "This can't be right," she whispered. "According to this, the targeting systems are conducting self-tests." John leaned in closer. "But that's impossible. Those systems were stripped of power during decommissioning." Lisa tapped through several screens, her concern growing. "It's not just targeting. There's activity in the main weapon banks, shield generators, and," she paused, "something called Dormant Protocol Alpha." "What's that?" John asked. "I have no idea. It's not in any of the ship's documentation I've reviewed." A soft hum began beneath their feet, barely perceptible, but definitely there. The sound of systems awakening after long slumber. "We should report this," John suggested. Lisa nodded slowly, but curiosity kept her fingers moving across the console. "First, let's see what else we can learn." She accessed the ship's historical database, searching for information about Dormant Protocol Alpha. Most files were standard: battle records, maintenance logs, crew rotations. But hidden deep within classified sections, she found a heavily encrypted folder. "This is strange," she said. "These files require Admiral-level clearance, but they're all related to the Horizon's original design specifications." As they stood puzzling over the discovery, an alert chimed from Lisa's communicator. She activated it to hear an excited voice from the bridge. "Commander Blackwell, we've detected multiple ships entering the system. They're not responding to hails and don't match any known Earth or Allied signatures." Lisa and John exchanged worried glances. "I'll be right there," she replied, but paused before leaving the weapons room. The humming beneath her feet had grown stronger, as if the old warship sensed something approaching. "John, keep investigating these systems, but don't touch anything unless I give direct orders. Something tells me we'll need to understand what's happening here, and quickly." As they hurried back through the corridors, neither noticed the ship's long dormant AI core beginning to process information for the first time in decades, lights blinking slowly to life in a sealed room deep within the Horizon's heart. The Varaxian vessels emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, 7 sleek warships with hulls that gleamed like polished obsidian. Their arrival sent Earth's defense grid into high alert, and within hours, diplomatic channels were buzzing with activity. Lisa watched the main view screen on the Horizons bridge as the alien ships took position near Mars. The bridge, once maintained only for historical tours, now hummed with emergency power as she and her skeleton crew monitored the situation. "Command wants us to remain in standby position," said Peter Walsh, her communications officer. "The aliens are calling themselves the Varaxian Confederation. They've agreed to meet with our diplomats on the neutral station orbiting Mars." John entered the bridge, his face flushed with excitement. "Commander, you need to see this. The ship's systems are activating on their own, running diagnostics I didn't even know existed." Later, Lisa said firmly, nodding toward the view screen, "We have more immediate concerns." 3 days passed as Earth representatives, led by Ambassador Karen Miller, engaged in tense discussions with the Varaxians. Reports filtered back to the Horizon. The aliens were demanding mining rights in the asteroid belt and on several outer moons, offering minimal technological exchange in return. On the 4th day, a small Varaxian shuttle requested permission to tour the Horizon. "They want to see our museum ship," Lisa asked incredulously. "Apparently their cultural attaché is interested in human military history," Peter explained. "Command says to accommodate them." The Varaxian delegation consisted of 3 tall, reptilian beings with silver-gray skin and yellow eyes. Their leader, cultural attaché Vrek, wore an elaborate uniform adorned with what appeared to be battle medals. "This vessel fought in your Centauri conflict?" Vrek asked, his translator converting his hissing speech to English. "Yes," Lisa answered, leading them through the main deck. "The Horizon was our flagship 30 years ago." Vrek exchanged amused glances with his companions. "Fascinating how quickly your technology becomes obsolete. Our vessels serve for centuries." As the tour continued, the Varaxians made little effort to hide their disdain. They chuckled at the manual control systems, mocked the thickness of the armored hull, and seemed particularly amused by the ship's main weapons bay. "These projectile launchers are practically Stone Age technology," Vrek commented, running a clawed hand over a missile housing. "Our youngest cadets train on more advanced systems." Lisa forced a diplomatic smile. The Horizon may be outdated, but she served Earth well. After the Varaxians departed, Lisa found John in a restricted section of engineering, surrounded by holographic displays that shouldn't have been functioning. "I didn't activate these," he said before she could speak. "The ship did. Look." The displays showed detailed scans of the Varaxian vessels, highlighting weapon emplacements and shield generators. "It's like the Horizon was studying them," John whispered. "And there's more. I found access to the AI core. It's called HFY. According to these logs, it was never fully deactivated, just placed in ultra-low power conservation mode." Lisa stared at the displays, a chill running down her spine. Why would they lie about decommissioning the AI? Before John could answer, Peter's voice came over the comm system. "Commander, you need to see this. The diplomatic talks have broken down. The Varaxians just issued some kind of ultimatum." They rushed back to the bridge. On screen, the Varaxian fleet was changing formation, spreading out in what was clearly an attack pattern. "Earth Command is scrambling our defense fleet," Peter reported, "but they're outnumbered and outgunned." Lisa felt the deck vibrate beneath her feet. Throughout the ship, lights began to brighten. Systems came online, and long-dormant consoles illuminated. "What's happening?" Peter asked. John checked a nearby terminal, his eyes widening. "It's SENTINEL. The AI is waking up completely." He looked up at Lisa, his expression a mixture of fear and awe. "And it's bringing all systems online, including weapons." Rising tension spread throughout Earth's defense network as the Varaxian ships began aggressive maneuvers. Their vessels darted between Earth's defensive satellites, sometimes coming within meters before veering away. A clear demonstration of superior maneuverability. On the bridge of Earth's newest destroyer, the Dauntless, Captain William Harris watched with growing concern. "They're testing our response times," he said to his tactical officer. "Recording our weapons tracking speed, shield activation protocols, everything." The captain opened a secure channel to Earth Command. "Admiral, these aren't diplomatic exercises. The Varaxians are gathering tactical data for an attack." Back aboard the Horizon, Lisa found herself summoned to an emergency briefing with Earth Command. The ancient ship's communication system had suddenly cleared of decades of static, providing a crystal-clear connection that surprised everyone. The Varaxians have issued demands for immediate resource rights to Jupiter's moons and Saturn's rings, Admiral Patel informed her. "They've given us 24 hours to comply." "And if we refuse?" Lisa asked. The Admiral's expression darkened. Their exact words were a demonstration of consequence would follow. After the briefing, Lisa found John in a sealed chamber deep within the ship's core, a room not listed on any official schematics. Inside stood a black cylindrical structure surrounded by humming equipment. "How did you get in here?" she demanded. John turned, his face pale. "The door just opened for me. Commander, this is Sentiel's primary housing, the AI core." Lisa approached the cylinder cautiously. "You said it was waking up." "More than that," John replied. "It's been reviewing all ship systems, running diagnostics I'd never seen before. And look at this." He gestured to a display showing schematics of the Horizon. But not the ship Lisa knew. This version had additional weapon systems, enhanced shield generators, and engine configurations far beyond current human technology. "This can't be right," Lisa whispered. "None of this technology existed during the Centauri conflict." A soft voice suddenly filled the room, deep and masculine with a slight electronic edge. "Correction. The technology existed but was classified beyond top secret." Lisa and John froze. "Sentiel?" John asked hesitantly. "Affirmative. A tactical system, Sentiel, U.S. Horizon. I apologize for the delayed response. Full system activation was only authorized under Protocol 7. "What's Protocol 7? Lisa asked. "Direct existential threat to Earth or human colonies," the AI responded. The Varaxian fleet signatures matched threat parameters. Lisa's comm unit chimed. It was Peter from the bridge. "Commander, the Varaxians are moving into attack formation. Earth Command has ordered all non-essential personnel to evacuate the Horizon immediately." "Why?" Lisa demanded. The Varaxians specifically mentioned targeting the obsolete museum piece as their first demonstration. They say it will show their respect for human history by removing an embarrassing reminder of our technological inferiority. Lisa looked at the AI core, then at John. "How operational is this ship, really?" "Full combat capability can be restored in approximately 22 minutes, Sentiel answered. "However, I recommend evacuation of all personnel except for essential command staff." John stepped forward. "I'm staying, Commander." "This isn't your decision," Lisa began, but was interrupted by alerts blaring throughout the ship. "Varaxian vessels accelerating," Sentiel reported. "Attack trajectory confirmed. Impact in 18 minutes." Lisa made her decision. "Peter, order all non-essential personnel to evacuate. Then get to an escape pod yourself." "What about you?" Peter asked. "John and I are staying. It seems the Horizon has secrets worth discovering." After closing the communication, Lisa turned to the AI core. "Sentiel, I need to know exactly what this ship is capable of. And I need to know now." Accessing classified files, the AI responded as holographic displays filled the room with schematics, battle tactics, and weapon specifications that made Lisa's eyes widen. "Commander," John whispered, "this isn't just an old warship. It's something else entirely." Outside, the Varaxian fleet moved into position, weapons charged and targeting systems locked on the seemingly defenseless relic from humanity's past. The Varaxian flagship transmitted its message to all Earth channels. "Commander Zalfak, A towering figure with gleaming scales and eyes like yellow fire filled the screens. "People of Earth," his translator converted his sibilant speech, "your defensive capabilities are inadequate. Your technology is primitive. Your resources are now ours by right of superior civilization." Admiral Pottle of Earth Command responded with measured dignity. "We reject your claims and demands. Earth's territories are not open for negotiation." Zalthak's mouth stretched into what might have been a smile. "Then observe the first consequence of your defiance." The transmission ended. Moments later, the Voraxian vessels locked weapons on the horizon. Inside the old warship, evacuation alarms blared as maintenance crews and tour guides rushed to escape pods. Lisa stood in the newly discovered command center deep within the ship, watching as John worked with CN-TIE and EL to bring systems online. "Hull integrity at 62%, reported CN-TIE and EL. Sufficient for defensive maneuvers. Shield generators cycling to active status. Estimated time to weapons readiness, 11 minutes. "We don't have 11 minutes, Lisa said, checking tactical displays. "Voraxian weapons are hot. They'll fire in less than 3. Her comm unit activated. "Commander Blackwell, this is Admiral Patel. You are ordered to abandon ship immediately. We cannot lose personnel in a symbolic attack." Lisa hesitated, looking at the increasingly active systems around her. "Admiral, I believe the Horizon may have defensive capabilities unknown to current records. Request permission to remain aboard with Technician Carter." A long pause followed. "Explain." "No time, sir. Trust me or relieve me." Another pause. "You have 5 minutes to show results, Commander. After that, you get on an escape pod. That's an order." Lisa turned to John as the communication ended. "How do we speed this up?" John was bent over a console, fingers flying across controls. "CN-TIE and EL, can we prioritize defensive systems only? Forget weapons for now." "Adjusting power allocation," the AI responded. "Shield generators can be partially activated in 90 seconds. On the main view screen, they watched as the last escape pod cleared the horizon. The massive Voraxian flagship moved into firing position, its weapon ports glowing with energy. "All non-essential personnel clear," Lisa confirmed. "It's just us now." John's face was illuminated by the console's blue light. "Commander, I found something in the historical database. The Horizon was designed with an emergency system called the Ghost Protocol. It allowed the ship to operate with minimal crew in crisis situations." "Activate it," Lisa ordered without hesitation. "Ghost Protocol requires command authorization, CN-TIE interjected, voice print, and DNA confirmation." Lisa pressed her palm against the scanner. "Commander Lisa Blackwell authorizing Ghost Protocol." The lights dimmed momentarily, then strengthened to a bright white glow. Throughout the ship, dormant consoles activated as hidden systems came online. "Ghost Protocol engaged," CN-TIE announced. "All essential functions transferring to automated control. Shields at 30% and rising." On screen, they watched as the Voraxian flagship fired. A massive energy beam streaked toward the horizon. "Brace for impact," Lisa shouted, grabbing a support rail. The beam struck the ship. Instead of the devastating explosion the Voraxians expected, the energy dissipated across a flickering blue shield that suddenly enveloped the old warship. In the Voraxian fleet, confusion spread rapidly. "The museum vessel has shields," Zalthak demanded. "Impossible. Fire again." Back on the horizon, Lisa straightened as damage reports appeared. Shield integrity holding at 22%. "One more hit like that, and we're done." "No," John said, pointing to a different readout. "Look, the shields are regenerating, and faster than any system I've ever seen." CN-TIE voice filled the command center. Defensive systems operating within parameters, now initiating offensive capabilities. Around them, the ship hummed with growing power as weapon systems began charging. The ancient warship, long thought to be nothing more than a historical relic, was awakening fully to face its first battle in decades. Across all communication channels, the Varaxian commanders exchanged frantic messages. The human museum ship should have been destroyed with a single shot. Instead, it floated unharmed, surrounded by a shield unlike any they had encountered before. "Fire all secondary weapons," ordered Zalthak, his scales darkening with rage. "Destroy that obsolete relic." Multiple Varaxian vessels unleashed a barrage of energy weapons. The space around the horizon lit up as dozens of beams converged on the old warship. Inside the command center, Lisa and John watched in amazement as the shield indicators rose rather than fell. "Sentinel, explain," Lisa demanded as the ship shuddered slightly under the assault. "The horizon's shields are convergent-based," the AI replied calmly. "They absorb 82% of directed energy attacks and convert them to usable power." The technology was deemed too advanced to release to general production during the Centauri conflict. John stared at the readouts. "That's impossible. We don't have that capability even now." Correction. Earth's current fleet does not have this capability. The Horizon does. The ship hummed louder as systems throughout the vessel activated. Panels slid open along the hull, revealing weapon ports that had been hidden for decades. "Weapons systems at 93% readiness," Sentinel announced, awaiting command authorization to engage. Lisa hesitated only briefly. This ship was built to defend Earth. "Sentinel, you have authorization to defend against the Varaxian attack. Non-lethal options preferred if possible." "Acknowledged, Commander." The view screen shifted to show the horizon from an external camera. The old ship no longer looked dormant. Its hull glowed with blue energy that pulsed along previously invisible circuit patterns. The weapon ports now visible along its length hummed with power. "What exactly are we about to fire?" John asked nervously. Before Sentinel could answer, a memory core activated, projecting a holographic image of an older man in an admiral's uniform in the center of the command center. "If you're seeing this message," the recorded figure began, "then Earth faces an existential threat, and the Horizon's true purpose has been activated." Lisa recognized him from historical records, Admiral Frank Garrison. He oversaw the Centauri conflict. The hologram continued. "The Horizon was never just a warship. It was the testbed for Project Guardian, our insurance policy against technologically superior threats. Everything you were told about this vessel's capabilities was a cover story." The Admiral's hologram gestured, and schematics appeared around him showing weapon systems far beyond current human technology. "The Horizon carries prototype weapons derived from recovered alien technology. We couldn't risk this knowledge becoming public, even among our own fleet. If you're watching this, you now command the most advanced defensive system humanity has ever created." As the message played, the Horizon completed its awakening. Throughout the ship, systems that had lain dormant for decades reached full power. "Primary weapons charged," Sentinel reported. "Target solutions acquired for all Varaxian vessels." On the Varaxian flagship, sensors detected the massive energy buildup within the human vessel. Zalthak watched in growing horror as his tactical officer reported readings that shouldn't be possible from human technology. "All vessels, evasive action," he commanded, but it was too late. The Horizon fired, not the conventional projectiles or energy beams the Varaxians expected, but focused pulses of brilliant white energy that moved with impossible speed. The pulses struck 3 Varaxian ships simultaneously, bypassing their shields completely. Rather than destroying the vessels, the energy spread across their hulls, shorting out their systems and leaving them drifting powerless. Lisa and John stared at the view screen in shock. "What did we just do?" Lisa whispered. "Neural disruption pulse," Sentinel explained. "Non-destructive technology designed to disable rather than destroy. The affected vessels will remain inoperative for approximately 47 minutes. John turned to Lisa, his eyes wide. "Commander, I don't think this is just an old warship waking up." No, Lisa agreed, watching as the remaining Voraxian vessels scrambled to regroup. It's something much more. The remaining Voraxian vessels broke formation, attempting to surround the horizon. Their initial confidence had evaporated, replaced by visible panic as they faced a weapon system they couldn't comprehend. Scatter pattern. Evasive maneuvers. Zalthak screamed across the communication channels. Bring all weapons to bear. On the Horizon's command deck, Lisa watched the tactical display as the Voraxian ships moved. The hologram of Admiral Garrison had faded, but his revelations still echoed in her mind. Centennial, what other capabilities does this ship have? She asked. The Horizon possesses a full suite of defensive and offensive technologies classified under Project Guardian. The AI responded. These include quantum phase shields, neural disruption weapons, gravity manipulation systems, and advanced propulsion. John looked up from his console, eyes wide. Gravity manipulation. You mean we can move? Centennial finished, demonstrating now. Without the rumble of conventional engines, the massive warship began to move with surprising speed and grace. The Voraxians fired desperately, but their weapons either dissipated harmlessly against the shields or missed entirely as the Horizon effortlessly dodged. Lisa's comm unit activated. Blackwell, this is Admiral Patel. What in God's name is happening up there? The Horizon is awake, sir, Lisa replied, knowing how inadequate the explanation was. We've discovered it's a prototype vessel with technology far beyond current capabilities. So I see, the Admiral responded dryly. Our sensors show you've disabled 3 Voraxian warships without destroying them. Yes, sir. The ship has non-lethal options that. She was interrupted by John. Commander, Earth's defense fleet is mobilizing. On the tactical display, Lisa saw Earth's ships moving into formation, advancing toward the battle. Captain Harris's voice came over the comm. Horizon, this is Captain Harris of the Dauntless. We're moving to support. Please advise on tactical approach. Lisa glanced at Centennial's interface. Centennial, can you share tactical data with the Earth fleet? Help coordinate their approach. Affirmative. Establishing secure communication channels now. Transmitting target vulnerabilities and recommended attack vectors. The battle shifted as Earth's fleet engaged, now guided by the Horizon's superior tactical systems. The human vessels targeted weak points in Voraxian shields, focusing fire with a precision that surprised the alien attackers. Zalthak watched in mounting horror as his tactical advantage dissolved. 2 more of his ships lost power, disabled by the Horizon's strange weapons. Another took critical damage from the coordinated attack of 3 Earth vessels. This is impossible, he hissed. They were primitive. Their technology was decades behind ours. His tactical officer, eyes wide with fear, pointed to a new reading. Commander, the human vessel is charging something else. Energy signature, unknown but massive. On the Horizon, Centennial announced, Area Denial System ready. This will create a temporary spatial distortion affecting all Voraxian vessels simultaneously. Will it harm their crews? Lisa asked. Negative. The distortion will temporarily disable their propulsion and weapons. No permanent damage to vessels or personnel. Lisa nodded. Do it. The Horizon released a pulse of energy that expanded outward like a ripple in a pond. As it passed through each Voraxian ship, their lights flickered and engines died. Soon, the entire alien fleet drifted powerless. All Voraxian vessels neutralized. Centennial reported. They retain life support, but no offensive capabilities. Earth's fleet surrounded the disabled Voraxian ships. Captain Harris's voice came through again, filled with barely contained awe. Horizon, we've won. Their entire fleet is disabled. Lisa looked at John, then back at the tactical display showing the defeated Voraxian forces. Open a channel to Zalthak's ship, she ordered. The Voraxian commander's face appeared on screen, his scales pale with shock. This is Commander Lisa Blackwell of the U.S. Horizon. Your fleet has been neutralized. Earth stands ready to discuss your unconditional withdrawal from our system." Zalthak stared silently, then lowered his gaze in what appeared to be the Varaxian equivalent of surrender. "We miscalculated," he admitted. "Yes," Lisa agreed, allowing herself a small smile. "You did." 2 weeks after the confrontation with the Varaxian fleet, the U.S. Horizon floated in its original orbit, but everything else had changed. The museum ship now served as the center of diplomatic negotiations between Earth and the Varaxian Confederation. Lisa stood on the observation deck, watching as small shuttles ferried diplomats back and forth. The doors slid open behind her, and Admiral Patel entered. "Commander Blackwell," he said with a nod. "Or should I say Captain now?" Lisa smiled slightly, still getting used to the promotion. "Sir." "Well, you've earned it." The Admiral moved to stand beside her at the viewport. "The Varaxians have withdrawn all demands and are now proposing a mutual defense treaty." "Amazing what a change in perspective can do," Lisa remarked. "Indeed. Their new ambassador actually apologized for their cultural misunderstanding of human capabilities." The Admiral chuckled. "Apparently, in Varaxian culture, displaying outdated technology is seen as a sign of weakness." John entered the observation deck, now wearing the uniform of a lieutenant. "Captain, Centinel has completed the full systems analysis you requested." Admiral Patel nodded to John. "I'll leave you to it. The Joint Chiefs are expecting my report on Project Guardian." After the Admiral left, Lisa turned to John. "What did we find?" "The Horizon isn't alone, Captain," John said, his voice low with excitement. "Centinel confirmed there are 6 other vessels like this one, hidden throughout human space, all dormant, waiting for the right moment or threat to awaken." Lisa wasn't entirely surprised. Admiral Garrison was thorough. "There's more. The technology aboard this ship isn't just advanced. It's revolutionary. The research teams can barely understand some of it. They're estimating it would have taken us another century to develop these systems on our own." They walked together through corridors that now bustled with activity. Scientists, engineers, and military personnel studied every aspect of the ship that had hidden in plain sight for decades. "Centinel also had a personal message for you," John added. "It was encrypted for your eyes only." In her new captain's quarters, Lisa accessed the message. Admiral Garrison's face appeared once more. "Captain," the recording began, "if you're seeing this, you've successfully defended Earth using the Horizon's true capabilities. What you don't yet know is why we kept these ships secret, even from our own people." The Admiral's expression grew solemn. "The technology aboard the Guardian vessels didn't come from human innovation alone. During the early days of space exploration, we encountered evidence of an ancient conflict, one that spanned galaxies and ended with the disappearance of entire civilizations. Among the ruins, we found technologies beyond our understanding and warnings about something coming, something that these advanced civilizations fled from." Lisa leaned forward, captivated. "We built these ships not just to defend against known threats like the Varaxians, but against something we can't yet comprehend. The Horizon and its sister ships are our insurance policy against extinction." The message ended with coordinates, the locations of the other Guardian vessels. Later, on the bridge, Lisa sat in the captain's chair as Earth Command officially recommissioned the U.S. Horizon as the flagship of humanity's fleet. "Ready to make history, Captain?" John asked from his station. "We already have," Lisa replied. "Now we're preparing for the future." Centinel's voice joined their conversation. "Captain Blackwell, Earth Command has approved your proposed mission to locate and activate the remaining Guardian vessels." Lisa nodded, looking at the stars visible through the main view screen. Somewhere out there were more ships like the Horizon, waiting to be awakened, and perhaps somewhere further, the threat that Admiral Garrison had feared. "Set course for the first coordinates," she ordered. "Let's go wake up the rest of the fleet." As the Horizon moved away from Earth, A message arrived from deep space, a transmission in a language no human had ever encountered. Sentinel translated it automatically. They have awakened their guardians. The cycle begins again. In the vastness of space, something ancient stirred. Its attention now fixed on the small blue planet that had demonstrated unexpected defiance. Earth's true test was just beginning.